check, check. Okay, so there's a bit of a delay because the sound people, they have to go from the stage and run around you. But here we are. It's live and very live. And there are some guests maybe appearing on the screen. They're a little bit delayed, but they're going to also appear at some point from Krakow and different parts around the world. Okay? And there's some kind of a complicated setup. I think someone's also in Canada. Anyway, we have a special guest who's doing a lot of live streaming. And in the meantime, we're going to start with this song. It's called Utopia. If you think you don't got a utopia in your mind, are you caught in Ice Age 3? Are you caught in a trap? You got no turning back? Do you have a utopia? 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 No. Okay, we're interrupting the concert now for a virtual interlude that's coming at us from...
Feel free, let's go. And hello everybody, we are from another reality.
Yeah, we have another reality, a parallel reality.
Yo, hello from Krakow.
It's somebody else's utopia. Is it your utopia? It's invading your space.
Yeah.
And that's also the difficulty with utopias.
Okay, we're tuning in.
Some utopias.
We're in Vancouver right now. We're working together with UKRA TV, and they're based in Krakow. So this is a concert that's actually being live streamed across networks. This is stream art. And this is... What you're seeing is not really here, okay?
It's not really here.
Pero no somos aquí. Eso es en el Krakow, in Polonia. Okay. I mean...
Utopia. Utopia. It's not really here. It's just streamed in from somewhere else. This is not reality. We're just like a simulation.
Utopia.
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 Many utopias layered on top of each other, happening simultaneously. Utopia. 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 Utopia.
Multiple imagined worlds. Cobra, Fluxus, feminism gave us paradise, perfect place. John Lennon and Yoko Ono built a new land in 1973. A vision of peace and freedom. Now that was revolutionary. Utopia. 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 U is for utopia. U is for utopia. U is for utopia. U is for utopia.
The streets, the cities are built. Renovate them, God damn it. Stop knocking down my neighborhood. Hey, I'm adding to it. You don't destroy it. This is our utopia. This, here, now, is our utopia.
Better living. Better living. Better living. Utopia is an era of multiple imagined worlds. Cobra, Fluxus, feminism gave us paradise, a perfect place. John Lennon and Yoko Ono built a new land in 1973. A vision of peace and freedom. Now that was revolutionary. U is for utopia. U is for utopia. U is for utopia. U is for
So,
Hi.
I try to say hello to everybody. I think we can start
Yeah, but Melissa is busy.
with a delay, but there's a delay in the schedule actually to have possibility to give possibility to Mel from Saturday to say sorry for the delay, and so we are sorry for the delay one more time, and we have a delay together, and we mix delays, and we mix ourselves from Saturday and from now, and we have also a live meeting soon. I see Alex is here next to us in the diagonal screen, and there is also Ksenia who need to charge her batteries and is in France now, and there is
No, I don't need to
Julia.
charge my battery. I'm fine.
Yeah, and there is Gleb, and there is Julia, and there is
Hello.
Sophie, and there is Anya, who were the gift.
Anya, it looks really great on you. Stand up. Nice. Wow.
Nice.
So this is called Overalls for All. It's by Jason Speed and Jeremy Scott. And it inspired a song called Class War. It's not my century, class war. We're members of society, class war. Shoot or stab, class war. It doesn't exist anymore. It does exist. It doesn't exist.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for the introduction to this. Yeah. Let's start to talk about what we did do together on Saturday, and I'm mixing now. So I prefer to shut up and listen you and your impressions, and also some maybe in next steps also some plans and some ideas about next steps, and about maybe also some details, because it was experimentation that also gave to us possibility to recognize that's kind of the hybrid format, and that's possibilities, dialogues in between. I'm invisible now and I'm talking, so okay, I will switch with Gleb later, and then thank you guys for that experience and that you are here tonight with us.
Yeah, Alex, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to create something so amazing together last Saturday. It was a huge experiment, and it was something really incredible, and something what we did for first time actually, because like it was completely different dynamic, and fitting through this space to your songs and to your show, and combining it together, everything, it was really unusual experience, and also like feelings which came after and during this performance. It was something really amazing. Like I don't know if someone did something like this before. So in a way we are exploring this world, technologies, people, our possibilities, our limits, and crossing the limits, and finding really unusual just DIY things, how to do something, to create something, and to be together in this hybrid way.
Yeah. I think I just wanted to say first, maybe is when I came across your work, Gleb, thank you. This for us has been just this amazing possibility to sort of collide sort of different worlds in a sense. And when I came into the Society for Artistic Research conference, where I think you were presenting, and I was looking at the screen, and I was just I was right at the back, and I was like, whoa, wait a sec, what's this? And then I was just like magnetized for like half an hour. We've got to join forces somehow. So I think that sort of meeting in Trondheim was really interesting, and then just having that first very sort of improv moment of doing, coming onto your stage which was hybrid between Trondheim and Krakow. And just sort of seeing how these different languages could sort of bleed into each other or respond to each other. And so it all sort of flowed from there, and it's just, I really hadn't seen anything like that before, what you were doing there, you know. So you had bodies in space in Trondheim in a VR lab in the TV studio, but then I couldn't work out, oh, are they in Krakow now, or are they here, or like, and then this wonderful figure, the black figure with these pointy elements. Sorry, who was the artist that made that? This from
Mazur.
yeah, exactly. So this piece.
Mazur and performers. Yeah.
So seeing all of these and sort of the aesthetics of these worlds that you create, and Julia, what you're doing in virtual reality, and then this coming in as another layer. And I think then, so Chicks on the Speed and our sort of world of like, say, pop music and activist type lyrics, and the layers that we have, the sort of the very complex layers of sort of craft or textiles, imagery, choreography and sound, in a way, is just another, all of these extra layers create different meanings when we bring them together and sort of merge. So I think, and also what is the most sort of new or now is somehow this thing of channeling this energy in the moment. So not trying to contain it or control it, but working in the now. I think for me, this is one of the most interesting things about telematic performance, and also because there's so many unexpected elements, and like latency, and how can you use latency as somehow as a tool, and this sort of experience of this discontinuous sort of thing that you can't control, and then you have to also channel all of that energy and somehow make it work. And I think being on the edge of that is just very explosive and exciting, and I haven't seen anything like this, so I think that's why we're all doing it, because we like to do things that one hasn't sort of seen before. Yeah, it's real-time, interdimensional performing image.
Hi Alex, it's so nice to see you.
Hey.
I'm so happy.
I love seeing you with your costume and makeup. Like,
Yeah, and I don't know, it was so great, and I think that it's becoming more and more less than an experiment and something that is really working, you know, like I feel that at this point it's something we can also, I don't know, I'm so proud as well of Web and our team, everybody that even if it was so many intense days, we managed to like push through, and it came back to us. I don't know, it was really amazing, and to even, I don't know, see how the crowd there was interacting in a really natural way. They weren't maybe not really surprised, they kind of waited for it and dived in it in the very moment it started, and this is something really interesting and unexpected in a way, because it's so complex even for us to explain what it is, but it's working. So yeah, it was great.
yeah, just on that note, because I always, you know, we have a very direct sort of and fast communication with the audience. I think from touring in the US a lot, we sort of learned how to gauge if something is about to sort of, we call it, the show will sort of bomb, like you lose the audience, and then it's not, you know, it's just not fun to perform like that. You need to have the audience with you, because somehow they're completing the piece in a sense. But I found that I had never seen their eyes like this before. And I mean, we've been performing for like 26, 27 years, and it really, they were looking through and they'd seen something they had never seen before. So this was really magic to perform in front of this audience that was fully engaged, but in this really sublime sort of way of being in this altered sort of state of like, I think they're all on ecstasy for that moment or something. And then also, Sonia, your rope work is just, it's just so beautiful, and it has this craft to it. I have a friend, His name is Daniel Koch, and he's a performance artist in Singapore. You both have to meet each other because it's just like this incredible aesthetics that go along with that, and this precariousness and this danger, and just so many wonderful things that are connected to the structures that you're building and how they interweave into the performance.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was really kind of interesting experience for me. Also, yeah, and so happy to see you today. Also, so thank you.
Yeah, hi Alex. I also want to tell that during all of that process, it was really like experiment, really challenging. But I think like all of us felt like on the concert too. And also I wanted to tell thank you to Anya Kepka and her costumes, your student. It was really amazing, and it was really nice to cooperate with her. And I don't know, maybe she's already with you, so say hi also, because like she's really, really cool. And costumes and art she's doing is really amazing.
Yeah, Anya she's finished her BFA now, and yeah, she made Melissa's costume, and she's going to be doing some more, but it'd be wonderful to bring her in to collaborate again, because Anya
I have
also
15 minutes, so.
she's acting in
Okay.
various
Yeah.
films.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's an actress as well as a performer, and I'm sad that she's leaving Trondheim Academy of Fine Art. Actually, I was hoping she'd continue to do the masters, so I'm trying to lure her back. But maybe she'll come and join all of you. That'd be even cooler. So
I gotta go soon because this castle, actually is closing, and the internet connection here is very low. But I just wanted to tell all of you guys that I'm literally now on the top of the castle of Saint Michel in France, and I'm sitting in tears because to see you all saying thank you to each other. Wow, 1 year ago when I entered this project, I could never believe and think that this would go like this, and that we will become such big, and that we will meet you, Alex, and that we would have such a great opportunity to work together to create such an amazing stuff. And I literally got into tears because this is so emotional for me. Wow. That's incredible. I
feel the same, and I'm very thankful also that you all came to Trondheim, and that Florian Schneider actually is the person who connected us all. So we have to say thanks to Florian, and we had a lot of ideas actually of how we could continue to work together, and you all have to come. The people in Valencia, that museum that we all performed in, they'd love to have us back so they would like to invite Chicks and Speed for an exhibition, but it could be an amazing opportunity to sort of build a green screen stage there, and for Ukraine TV to use as their home for a temporary space or something. So we have to think about lots of ideas like this.
think we should go there.
Yeah,
Because for me, I feel like what you're...
Guys, I'm saying bye-bye to you because I'm trying to get...
Okay.
Yeah. So also I wanted to
Bye bye, Ksenia.
send greetings from Taya Kobayeva, who she also made this performance. Actually, it was kind of a closing performance, and she also said that for her it was a unique experience, that she is really thankful and looking forward for any kind of cooperation and projects in future to do together.
Yeah, you have to extend our thanks as well, also for her trust to... yes. Hey, Melissa. Awesome.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, hello. Nice to see you.
Are you back?
Yeah, I was just running around. There's a big fire here.
Oh, fire.
I think it's a hotel that's burning down.
You are like a big fire who jumped into our middle of our conversation. Nice to see you.
Good to see you too. I don't see you. Oh, there you are. No, where are you? I don't know.
Rom is now sitting.
I'm invisible in between.
Ron is invisible, but
liminal
I will switch with him now in
Okay.
this producing center, so he will come here and
maybe
become as
we could
physical
say-
and visible body.
Yeah. But maybe we could say something about this. This is a good sort of crossover. The work of Taya, Melissa, and how it sort of spoke to two songs for Julian Assange was really interesting. You know, representing this sort of freedom of speech and showing how it really is on the ground there in Kiev. And then with that song is obviously something about, you know, freedom of speech, of journalism, and being able to put this out there and not be put in jail. Or so a lot of this song has to do with wanting to, well, the main purpose of this song is to bring attention to Julian Assange and to get him out of Belmarsh prison. But so I think this sort of, again, I use the word collision, I think it was really powerful. And yeah, it could be great to do something with Taya. The work would exist together. Oh my God, you got the outfit, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, freedom of speech. I mean, yeah, it's nice now to see in the age of the AI what's going to happen with freedom of speech and tracking people down, and also any statements that people make, how they're going to be actually cut off right away, probably. So let's see how that pans out, people.
Was a question to me?
Oh, question. No. Should I ask a question? Nice outfit.
No, maybe I could ask a question about next
Okay.
steps, about what. Yeah, because for me, there was like one thing I recognize, something new, like absolutely new, that you can talk to TV and TV can answer to you in the like a big scale, like in interactive cinema, like people in the screen are talking to people in the theater, yeah, in the audience, and audience could answer to this like a something across stage, because we were in the stage and it was like a strange moment sometimes that you watch kind of view that there is something happen and people are like across our bodies, across our activities, there is something like a new direction of relations, yeah, and it was very exciting for me and something new what we can also build some more precise dialogues on this in visual way, in text, yeah, in something. We was talking with Gleb about this also, because I think I need to I really wanted to this conversation today also to say about incredible Gleb careful activities, and that's nice because he was like a very core. Or that's what happened on the screen, what's happened when the signals from the stage.
I don't understand who what.
Gleb, he was there before Melissa. Gleb was on the mic before.
Gleb
Oh, okay.
announced he switched, yeah.
They
with me,
switched.
and he's there, and then I have a possibility to see you in front of me also, and to talk about this more precisely maybe. And yeah, and this is what we started, because Gleb has a long experience with VJing, with working with us, usually abstract and kind of expressive, in a way decorative way of visuals in the live acts, in the rave, in the techno scene and so on. And here we have like a complex of steps, elements possible to search, to develop, and also about content of this, about some statements going from the screen, and about this dialogue with audience, with between stage, audience, stage and screen, visual, audiovisual, audio, yeah, and it's
Audial.
yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool. But also with I felt like the audience felt like they were overspoiled, so they were getting two performances at once or something. And then with Anastasia Vorobovia in Vancouver, and these avatars. And this is something that we haven't done before, and it just all of these amazing layers. The audience really knew they were seeing something that they have never seen before.
Yeah, that's it was like it was Julia trip together with Nastasia Vorobiowa. This is also, I think, important, that it was like kind of a tour into the virtual space, guided by Nastasia and you as a camera girl.
Yeah, that I think, and this scale we never did, and it was really interesting to see how it worked finally, because I don't know, VRChat usually is built like kind of a square, so to people to enter it with their device, but in this way that it was kind of, I don't know, a real-time creation of this video inside this space, like it was like a live act, both for the performance and the camera work in a way. So it was really, I don't know, unique to try this in front of an audience like that, and with the music and with the combination of this really interesting work of Nastya, that it's so like stratified and so interesting, and together with you know, the concert and your own performance became something even new. So I think this is not even comparable
I'd like
maybe to something else.
Okay, but I'd like to ask you all a question, and that's about with performing and all the energy and time that goes into this, and the live, and also the adrenaline of you know there's a full house, there's a line of people around the block, there's a curfew, the police are waiting, you know, there's a whole team of people on ground, like on our side, in this medieval courtyard. Then you're in your studio, in your situation, but also then performing, and then you get a bit of this vibe. But then after the performance, what do you feel? You're all together. So you also feel the adrenaline of doing a performance. But I'd like to hear from all three of you, or all four of you, or all five of you.
Yeah, Sonia. Yeah, because you were wearing this amazing outfit and with the
Yes, thank you so much. About this, I can tell that during all of this event, I think I feel that we have some like vibe, which one we're all catching. So it was kind of fast and expressive, but I'm completely was realizing that sometimes I don't need to say anything, and people already know what to do a little bit. And I'm also wanna say about this event that for me also was super excited about how people, which one was helping us with cameras, because this was Julia, also Nastya, and also I think Seba, and also Gleb. So because basically we have like not super motion happening into this green screen, but in this performance this was super active. So from one side going one performance, from another side and another one. So this was really cool work, and I want to say big thanks for.
In a way, like a private party. Yeah?
Can you come into the camera, please? Can you come more centered? I can't see you still.
Like, because you were asking about like after feeling, yeah, after all the concert.
I can't see you so well.
Oh,
Thank you.
I'm here.
Yes.
Like it was really, really intense, because like we had to change all of the image like in 1 minute and 2 minutes. We were like always thinking how to change it and how to switch, but after feeling was really pleasure, because we just like, whoa, what we did together, like not even only in Krakow, and also there are people, they are just observing all the process, and it's like, wow, it's just amazing. So it was for sure pleasure, like this after feeling. And like maybe a bit tired, but pleasure for sure, because it was something big and something new for us, and yeah, so that's it. And thank you for that and for this cooperation.
You're welcome.
Yeah, to answer also like your question, I think it was I don't know. It's very peculiar that day because it was after other really intense days of work for us. Like there was Cracker Festival, but every one of us, I think, it captured this electricity of the day, and I was like, I don't know, Rome was flying in another country, and we were like contacting with each other. So of course it was, as Julia said, tough. Yeah, you're still flying. But even if we are not in the same place as you, so maybe from the outside it's another environment, of course, it's, you know, from like this feedback that you gave us, and that all of us like shared this common feeling of, you know, it's something important, it's something big, it's something that is going so well, and we are so proud. So it was, it's like, you know, this climax, and then I think we all needed kind of a day to reset, but it was, you know, like a perfect ending for all this intensive work, you know.
Also about like when we saw that on a concert there is a lot of people, and it was like, wow, it's really like a huge concert, and we are really into it also. So it was really, how to say, interesting and really like emotionally interesting. And yeah, that was really good and really good experience.
Gleb, you want to add something from the liminal space, maybe?
Oh yeah, actually, I forgot about my possibility to talk. Yeah, I wanted to add that, like, beside that, we were somewhere in the studio, a green studio, when I saw eyes of people who were there, and when I've seen people waving to the camera and to us, like, for me this distance completely disappeared, and I was feeling like it is really strange, like a feeling to describe, but you know, physically you are somewhere else, but your like emotional and intellectual state of mind completely closing and killing this barrier, and I was feeling actually that I was there, and I was feeling like all this crowd, huge crowd, thousands of people, actually they were like here in the studio, and same as you on the stage, so wonderful.
Okay, wow, okay.
Telematic togetherness.
Good to hear, but then when it's, you know, when it's over and it's like, okay, you're not beamed in anymore, it's cut off. I mean, I think you're very lucky because you're all together. So then you still have like the after time, you know, coming down then all together. Because, yeah, I did it once like on Skype, I think in 2015 with my friend in New York, and I was in Cologne, and I did a performance, and then it was like 2 in the morning for me because it was 8 in the evening in New York, and then it was just me and an actor, and then I felt very lonely because, you know, I was in the small city of Cologne, and it was just me and an actor. You know, like when it has this adrenaline of performing,
Kind of the
and then the end I was kind of alone.
melancholy of disconnection.
Yeah, I turned it off, you know, and that was starting the party in New York at this exhibition, and for us it was like, okay, we'll go to bed now, you know. So for me, it was emotionally actually difficult to do that. That's why I was very interested.
This is why we are back today.
Huh?
This is why we are back today, and we invite you to because it is. I think
I'm
it's
happy
great
I'm on
that
the
we
same
needed to repair.
girl. I mean, like, I'll give all my power, like energy to the performing and the audience, and then I can kind of come down while I pack my equipment and quickly drink a beer. And then, or, you know, say goodbye, say hello quickly to a few people, and then just go back to the hotel and sleep. But yeah, but these like 1 hour that one has, then is just so important because of the adrenaline of performing. It's a tough emotion to deal with, I find. Especially with this real time, I imagine this is also that you work up this performing adrenaline, you know? You do, don't you? I mean, it's not like an office job.
I think we shared that adrenaline we felt.
Yeah,
with all of
I
us.
think-
So it's really, really nice thing about sharing all of the emotions. It becomes even like maybe easier to feel and better to feel. I don't know. Did you feel something like this? Like about sharing?
Yeah, but I think we are really like kind of used to this in a way, and it's just like this. It's hard to explain for me because I'm not like a performer. Mainly, I'm more like backstage usually in this. But it's this kind of I don't know. We are all together, and then you feel like all this emotion are you share it with the others. So I think that what you're saying actually is true. Like probably if we were sitting alone in front of our laptop, it would be something totally different. But it's also about all the energy before, like in building rehearsal, and it's this stage moment. So it's just the same as being on a real stage. Actually, I feel like this.
Also, what I start to think about is maybe the distinction between stage and the out of stage situation is something different from the studio condition, and it's a blur. It's like a transition in between different positions, and there is still nothing like a strong difference. Yeah, that here is the stage and here is absolutely out of stage. It's like a still like a kind of the complex of.
Oh yeah, so it's a between space.
Angles.
yeah.
Like it's performing and visuals.
In our output now, it's I don't know. You see our output, but we are talking here in Jitsi, but still this is what is going to Twitch. It's something crazy now. Absolutely.
Well, it's that liminal space also. And I mean, in a way, though, my question would be, don't you think it would be better not to record? Because it's like if you think about Fluxus when they were doing their performances in the 70s, and it wasn't about documenting the actual act of the performance, it was more about experiencing it in that now moment. So in a way, I feel like for the things that we could perhaps do in the future, it would be about not recording them, and then that would make more people have to travel to come and see us, and do it for like 10 days or a durational thing or whatever, and build up pieces together across all these sort of polymorphic sort of stretch the idea across a lot of media, but not recorded, because I'm never interested to watch a performance of say our own, or I don't want to watch it again, because it's this energy of that moment. And I think for what the FEAR series is, it's very important that this is like a channel and what UKRA TV is doing. But my question would be more, do you think these things need to be documented, and what happens to it once it's been documented? That's a question for all of you.
Yeah, that's. What?
Was it a question, should it be documented?
Yeah, because it changes the very experience and the intention. Because for me, live, the intention is that it is that moment and is capturing this now. Like you move into the now, no? It's like that prism of light sort of thing, and you're in that point. And then when it's documented and viewed later, it's a different kind of work, I think. And sometimes I feel like a lot of what we do, we don't actually put everything that we do online. We're very specific about some things go online, some things don't go online, some things are experienced in the moment. And but that question,
I think it's open question. Yeah, it's open question to like a long discussion. I could say something maybe from my personal position, that kind of the testimony maybe, that I really I always afraid to watch
Me too.
streams like done. What we what we did. It's just like no, I don't want to watch this because I'm afraid about some fuck ups and stuff like that. Yeah, no. I think it was great. I think it was let's have next one. And but then because it's automatically recorded, it's like the output. Yeah, we also sometimes record some parts with our software. We could record elements from the particular camera and so on. And this is like a new like a new field of working with this footage, with this archive, which is still like behind of that's live activity. So it's of course it's something what we can talk about, to overthink this and work with this and remix and do some like a new production. We have like a actually finish of a season, so the summertime is also for that kind of overthinking and working with archive and searching for also for tactics, how to work with this, how to show, how to extract some fragments, for example, from long productions.
Also, it's really good for seeing the experience and for some kind of maybe not progress but changes. For example, maybe you're watching recorded things, it's better like you see what you have to improve or you have to change something. So I think that's really important, like for the experience and for seeing the changes.
Yeah, I wanted to say like pretty much the same thing. It's the thing that when I'm here, I don't really see what's happening on the stream. It's like completely different experience, because on the stream or on the archive there's like a lot of things going on, like a lot of specific visuals that I don't see when I perform. And the other thing is that after that, like when I see the archive, like the recording, I can just see how did I look like, how if what I have done looked good or it looked stupid, what can I improve for the future. I mean, I kind of agree with you, but I also kind of like feel like it's worth recording everything. It's worth keeping it for the reasons I think we've mentioned. So, yeah.
In a way, it's maybe kind of the basic difference between this what we are able to do now and the second avant-garde 70s Fluxus generation that's working with media, working with TV setup, but without this online live like vibe and possibility to be like in real telematic relations, and this state of being connect and being like a part of the network, like an organism and something like that, which is across of distance, and also like we try to do also across this virtual and physical, like a very new media and this old with a green box setup, and it's something, this flexibility. I think it's this is we are Fluxus. That was like a pre-Fluxus.
You are what?
Yeah.
What are you? You said we are a what?
I mean, because it's really like a circulation. Yes, it's this circulate aesthetics by Florian Schneider also behind of this. We could use it to interpretate that way. It's like the circulation in real time in something new makes a new state of being together also, and it's a state of activity.
And a form of community building as well. And also maybe because in Spain,
it's working with archive recording, but it's also to have partnerships with like a long-term partnerships with similar studios that we want to build a studio in Kiev. There is a very important part of our next weeks, months activity, and also the partnership with Amsterdam and also Trondheim, what we start to do as one event that continue this more like also network of this hybrid orient setups, places like this.
And also with Tina Frank in Vienna. So Tina, looking forward to chat with you and see the possibilities too.
Hope we will develop this.
Hope core.
Because her space is called Beta now.
How is it organized and set up actually? With the authorship and with it, is it this collab between Ukrainia TV and Chicks on Speed that we have a 50-50 setup, or that, you know, like we perform, you have the, I don't know, some of the visual rights, we have some of the visual rights, you are allowed to stream it, and then we're also allowed to stream it, or like, what is the organized setup actually?
That's interesting, because copyright takes on a whole other
private meeting with lawyers.
No, because with YouTube,
Let's keep it open.
Copyright is you have to
because in this space, but it's Melissa was doing a lot of research into this. It's very interesting. You know, what you need different laws to sort of work together, and that each artist is getting their sort of their crediting, their
No, it's normal. On YouTube, it's who are the authors of the sound, who are the authors of the video.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
the normal copyright deal. Have you worked it out? Is this worked out? Is there a thought about?
I think so, but there was also some like options that to combine this, because what that means we offers the video that you are also like you on the stage combined with activities in studio. This is the final, this is, I think it's a more, it's not easy to spread this in that two mediums, I think it's also that's idea to have like a part of background music from the studio and have live singing or instruments and to combine this kind of hybrid also audio real-time production for the future. I think it's
I think that is because we wanted to do a jam session, something like everybody's involved in creating something new.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we work with a distribution company online, the Orchard, and the music then is registered with them, and they're collecting from YouTube, they're collecting from Spotify, from everywhere, and if they're it has to be registered, or else they're going to block it.
They did. They blocked it. I looked at the Twitch channel, and
That's
it's not.
their job.
It's not,
That's their job to do that. So we have to tell them and give you permission, and then you have to register it, because these are registered songs, Yep. So it's good to understand the copyright side of it. I mean, it's all these micro payments. And then for YouTube, you get your YouTube thing or whatever. But one has to like write down the names and all that.
Yeah, great. So let's go like that.
Artistic entrepreneurship.
Yeah, with YouTube, this was a war that happened, like it went years long. It was terrible. That the GEMA of Germany, they blocked YouTube videos for a long time because YouTube was not paying the artist, and they finally won. This is because of German GEMA, this They have a lot of whatever. They do a lot of stupid things, but this they pulled through, which is really a good thing for the artists. That artists like you guys, the video people, the authors of the music are getting paid from YouTube, because YouTube only exists because of the content. And GEMA pushed that through, that they have to pay per play the people who made it, the content.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah,
Have
it's
more
really good.
bad experience
Works
with
for us.
YouTube, about bans, about blogs.
No, it's good to learn about how one registers properly on YouTube. All of these little things, one just has to do it, and then you're happy in 10 years from the, you know, when it gets the millions of plays, you know? Yeah.
That's chapter about future. What's more about future? Maybe we'll have some ideas. More
Future?
Future collaboration. I'd like to go into the museum all together and build pieces, but also, you know, props, you know, like props. Rope sculptures, hang instruments, bodies.
I would like to say that I hope we will have a time to create some costumes together, because I'm really was excited about the costume which one made, Anya, and she was also performing during this Saturday night. So yeah, for me this will be a really, I think, super experience, and yeah.
Also Ksenia, I think.
Yes, and also Ksenia, I think, yeah, because we're all together excited.
Yeah, so I think that'd be amazing to do costumes, and maybe Anastasia would build it onto the avatars or something, so we can take them from the physical into this 3D dimensionality, and how they could even affect that. Maybe we can have some sensors or something built in.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, we have a lot of possibilities to experiment with this. So yes, I think so.
This would be really great. So, yeah, we're gonna look into different possibilities in museums, and then we could build a project, no? But even think, yeah, and maybe that could be the place, Valencia, because there are really great cultural producers there who would really like to organise something for Chicks on Speed, but also to give UKRA TV a stage with us there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're
Gleb is
really.
back on the stage. I'm back in front of computer and say goodbye slowly. But I don't know if anybody want to say something more. We have time. We have all night. We can talk.
all night long.
So is this your last? Is this your last year for this season? This is no. Okay.
No.
Yeah, we have
before
one
last.
more next week. Yeah, so this one is almost last. Yeah, so I wanted to say thank you very much for opportunities, for experience, and for exploration and explanation. And we are looking forward really strongly to cooperate with you and to meet you. So we will be in touch. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you. Let's create something big
Online.
together.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I also wanted to thank you, and I don't know, let's keep in touch on all the aspects. Archiving, I didn't told anything about it, but I also think it's more complex, and it implies who is this archive for and in which form it's archived, because we're using platforms that are not of, you know, our own ship, but they're public, they have their own rules. So I think this is a huge I don't know, topic that it's important to have this discussion, actually. So yeah, thank you again.
You're welcome. Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you. And we'll be building a Gesamtkunstwerk together soon in another space.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
teraz zapraszamy do bardzo ciekawej, głębokiej, innowacyjnej, przepięknej, ultra mega rozmowy, którą poprowadził Rom Dziadkiewicz, JJ, z Timofejem Maksymenko odnośnie streamingów, sztuki, Londynu, Berlinu i ogólnie to jest osoba, która nam podrzuciła bardzo ciekawy projekt i prawdopodobnie w tle będziecie słyszeć dźwięki z Odessy. Zapraszamy.
Short introduction. We just met yesterday in Valencia. Up to you. Ukraiński, polski, angielski. O, możemy też switch. You can switch. It's the best. Hybridization of language is a part of our policy. Yeah. Timothy Maksymenko, artist, and we met yesterday in Valencia actually, but we met before. We met like over a year ago when the full-scale war already started, and you spent a few weeks in Krakow supporting people in Ukraine, then organizing network. Amazing, brave activity. I tried to support also, but I was much more lost than you in that time. But yeah, I think. But you did amazing job, and how are you now? You came from London and you stayed there for a long time.
Yeah, so I'm. I come from London. Just travel with my 12 years brother from Spain to Berlin, and I was looking for tickets, and I thought, why not to go through the Krakow and to show him again. That's where I was. And I think we met like first time in 2015 when I was studying here.
Start with London and how it changed also after the Brexit.
So I first time come to UK, it was my Erasmus exchange from Krakow Academy to small town near Birmingham. It was called Wolverhampton. It's just very dark place, there is just a small university and a lot manufacturers of cars and stuff like this. And I come in 2017, so it was still in Europe, but it was already this period when there was one last election, I don't know, say like referendum, when they decide finally to out from Union. But I was at that moment a bit lost with everything. I don't really didn't spend a lot of time when it was in the European Union. When I come, it was already when people from Eastern Europe, a lot of friends from Poland, Romania, there was also like moving back to home. Some of them stay there, but some of them there was like option when you can change some documents, show that you worked before there, and then you can stay. But many people was like, fuck, why I need to do that? So I'm back home. And then Brexit happens, and then actually I moved back to Ukraine because I was there in Erasmus for half year, and then I back after Erasmus to Poland, finished my study. Then I went to Kiev. I was 1 year there, and I started preparing for artist visa, which I have now in UK. It's like visa for artists. very cool visa. You can be 5 years, do anything you want. Yeah, actually, if anyone need any help with this visa, let me know. I have all documents and already have about seven friends who get this visa, also from Ukraine. Yeah, and then I back to London in 2020, and then lockdown started in 1 month, so everything was closed. And it also was not really a cool moment to compare, like before Brexit or after, because there was empty streets. And I think just now, like a year or two, it started to be again, London started to be busy and people come back. But I feel it's started to be less people from Europe, like and more people from other countries which is not in European Union, like Ukrainian, Belarusian, Asian people who actually didn't. I mean, for these people, nothing changed, so they need visas before as well, and they need it now. But now you can feel this contrast. Like you see more, like for example, in art universities, there is very lot grants for people from Asia, from Eastern, like from Ukraine, Belarus as well. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds interesting. It's like exclusion from Europe in a way, but on the other hand, inclusion to the rest of the world. What Brexit did with UK. It's kind of a surprise.
Erasmus, how I come there to London, I don't really know details, but at some moment UK government said that they want to cancel Erasmus in UK, and then they will do like UK Erasmus, another version of that, which is super stupid. No one understands why, because Erasmus is about this exchanges, and I think it's one of the best things I have in my life, this Erasmus, but it still work. I don't know, but many controversial information about that they want to cancel that. And, yeah.
Yeah, as I know also from the inside of Europe that there are many issues about the circulation of money. It change also in this because the legal regulations and different, and it's something, everything is in progress, because it's also tension between, this structure and universities from Europe and from UK that had this agreement before, and what to do with this continuation of the agreement is not, sometimes it's not enough to have to keep it between universities. There is something much more complicated because of the different of regulation that you have an agreement with now with a university of a state which is out of European Union. So it's but still it's about circulation and about collaboration, international. This is what you do daily. And tell about your collaboration with Bruce. Now you told me yesterday a bit.
I mean, it's like it was just. He was invited to London. He did a new film, which will called, I don't know if it's actually a secret still or not. I think not. Name of the film is it will called The Visitor. Sorry. I don't know about film. I was just helping with the film on the stage. Just we did shooting in Thames water, in the river, everywhere around. And yeah, it was collaboration him with a political organization. They work with different political engaged art and artists like Franka B and many others, and so they made it together. It was very intense and nice. To be honest, I never heard about him before. Yeah, it was very interesting experience. I'm mixing some constances. I don't know, like they want to make for a shoot a special liquid which will look like a sperm, but same time it will be green and will be for a long time in your body, but same time you can it can go in your mouth or something. It will be okay. And I remember I was mixing like condensed milk with some food paint with some Haribo jelly beers and many things.
Yeah. So what's about mix of politics and art in your life, and some pro tips for also for future, maybe for our collaboration? What you do, what you recommend to, how to just create some networking now? Also, nice to see you. Can you help us with production? Change cameras and so.
So yeah, I think now it's very, like, after full invasion started in Ukraine, or it's very changed way of working for me like an artist as well, because I think before it was like more, I feel I do something, because I was working more with sounds of cities and did some different like performances, exploration of different cities as a living organisms with the sounds of tubes and stuff, and I was like me and city, so no one else. And now after it started, I just feel it's not possible to continue the same way. I don't know, it's like a bit on hold now. And now it's time of more things do together, some collaborations with someone. Sometimes it's more organizing something, some connect bridges between artists and people, especially who now in Ukraine, and some of the artists there around the world. When the war started, we did very cool collaboration with 12 Ukrainian artists, musicians. We organized a fundraise. It was 12-hour radio stream. We did it in London, mixing in London with a small artist cooperative called Sound Camp. It's UK-based organization, very cool, small collective, and they always work with this like in different scale, not institutional, but more like between people. They organize every year event where people, anyone from the world, can stream sound from different places. And they proposed, when this war started, they proposed to maybe do something, and we did this like stream with we did open call and find 12 musicians. It's very different, like not really famous musicians, some very famous like Tolkachev, Andrei Kirichenko, Nastya Muravyova, and some sound artists. And first we thought to do that 24 hours, but then we decided maybe 12 hours for start. And yeah, it was, we asked them to make live stream of the set. It was about approximately 40 minutes each played. Some of them made recording because they was very engaged in some in the war and stuff, but some of them was doing live. And we was sitting in London and mixing that, and every time before each artist we did call. We call them by phone and ask some just question where they're now at the moment, how they feel, just in general what happened from the 24th of February, from the start of invasion. Some of them, it was interesting, like located who are, like mapping, because some of them was already in Europe, some of them was before it started somewhere else, some of them in Ukraine. And then it was music, and I send you the link. It's like web page where it was a timeline of 12 hours with a shadow of musicians, and people from all world they can listen. They listen that stream. It was also streamed in US radio wave farm, and people just donate money, which then after that we split between these musicians, because we thought first like maybe it will we ask musicians where this money we can send, but it's also that moment when a lot of fundraising already was around, and we just decided it's better to split between them, and then they decided they want to send that to some organization, or maybe they need as well this money because many of them was in troubles at that time. And then it was first thing, and then in September or October 2022 I get invitation. It was first something I did like art I would get invitation from Galeria Narodowa w Sopocie, and they did exhibition with Ukrainian artists. It was called State of Emergency, and I thought a lot because at that moment I was a bit engaged in some volunteering stuff, and also I was a bit just lost. And I thought what I can do, because there was no, there is a freedom, like you can do anything you want. And for me, it was very, very complicated to, I don't know, that it was very, like hard feeling that I can't go to Ukraine, because I very like to be on the, to see people, sound of, I don't know, it sounds stupid maybe, but you want to see and like share this feeling of sound of drones and sirens. And I was like 2 days before full invasion started, I was in Kiev 1 week, and I just actually back London, and then it started, and I was thinking to go back, but then we bought tickets to Poland, but then that we understand that there is a law that you can't out from the country if you go in, and then we think a bit more and decide to more support from outside, because at that moment already many friends and my family was there, and they asked some there was problem with helmets and stuff, and and then yes, back to Sopot, sorry, flying always. And I just I thought that I very like to do some projects where there is different places and do some portals between them. And I had some idea before about make audio portals between different cities, but it was more like just sound of different cities. And and actually about months before Sopot text me and invite me, I was in Belgium, in Brussels. There was a festival, very cool sound art festival called Oscillation Festival. I'm not sure, Oscillation or Oscillation. And I met their artist Lia Massari, this Italian artist. She worked a lot with streams of sound, and she told me about these sound boxes they built. And actually, these boxes which they built for stream of sound, they made it together with the Soundcamp organization who in London with who I worked before. And then we decided, let's do something with Ukraine to maybe send some boxes, because they had about 100 of different boxes around the world. And I proposed to Sopot to make this, like they give us money. We bought these 3 boxes at that moment, and then we sent them to Kiev, Odessa and Kharkiv. And these boxes have 2 mics on site, some small computer Raspberry Pi inside, and they like have also internet inside from GSM, from SIM card, and power bank, so they work without electricity, if no internet as well. And we send them to 3 my friends who live there, and they put them on the balconies, one on the roof. And so I also send you the link. It's possible to go this web page, and you can play sound any time of the day. Now, last couple of months, we have problem with some boxes. They're not working all the time, but it's because of the electricity problem in Ukraine and you need to always ask people to recharge them. So, but we have a plan now. We get some money to make 5 more boxes, and we plan to do them with special battery from the car, which give them 1 month of working non-stop. And also I have idea to make like archive of the sounds, because at the moment it's just live stream. You can listen what happened in the real time, and I think it's very cool that you can change time. But I thought to make it just like a record all the time sound, just to have it for future, maybe for something. And and for me this was like one way of be there as well. The sound portals. Sometimes you can turn on it at night. You can hear some sirens or people who go out to the balconies to talk about what happens. And
it's amazing, and it's in general why the idea of portal and the idea of linking What for future? What you plan to do in next? I don't know. You're going to Berlin. He was talking to me also about a group of artists, activists who stay in Berlin now, and they are from Minsk and around. About some legendary festival. Tell something about this also, please.
Yeah, we go to Berlin, and I mean Berlin now is, I think, like, it's the city where is the biggest concentration of friends, because like from Ukraine, from as well like my friends from Minsk there, and yeah, we will stay at our friend's house, Dina and Koля, as friends from Minsk, and they have also collaboration together. It's called EEEFFF. And also they organized very cool festival in Minsk before full invasion. I think last one, it was in 2020. I'm not sure when, but I was two times I think in Minsk. It was always a bit extreme because it already was war, and you feel a bit like, but it's even not called festival. They don't call it festival. It's more like time spending together, where our different artists and curators come from different countries, and they organize just this with different small institutions like libraries, some galleries just outside, different places where during the week happens different presentations, some works, and then another week normally always the people spend together in a sanatorium, this old Soviet sanatorium near Minsk, and just brainstorm together, talk. And for me it was very cool because you always can test some ideas or things better than anywhere, because everyone who come there, they're also artists and your friends, and also they do very cool archive of this whole festival during the year after it's happened. I also send you the link to the webpage. A festival called Работай больше, отдыхай больше, which means like work hard, pleasure hard, I think. And yeah, it's I don't know how to describe it. It's also like this different scale, like not big institutional, and but also something like narrow connections between, and I think it was very make more result than different other like high level things, because yeah, after that we always met some different artist curators who did some other things after. And also, yeah, I mentioned about anti-war coalition, but I can't really talk a lot about that because I just also know briefly about them. But it's like also at the web page and collaboration. Like there is anyone can do some works, and they also do fundraise, and yeah.
Thanks. I think the Berlin context is very important. You said that there are many people from Ukraine, Belarus, and a friend of you, and so on. Yeah, I can imagine. But on the other hand, there is also the concentration of this Western leftists, which are not really exactly into Yeah, this is what I want to say. That they are not really into in the same page with this struggle. We are together. There is this Western leftist tradition, which is so corrupt with relationships to Russia, to the tradition of Bolsheviks, to leftists, and it's. I think there is a big struggle, big job to do for you, for us, for you guys there, to in a way to teach that people about what's happened, how the consciousness and how the conditions are changing now. It's Russian, the tradition of that's version of politics organization is an imperial tradition, is a colonial tradition, is nothing about leftism itself, and it's something. And it's. I'm after many discussions with people from Berlin, with German artists or theorists or like activists, also from Western Europe, that they are a bit lost or stay in some traditional distinctions that, and this context is very important. And this is also why I ask you about Berlin, about this context. And there are also some plans to collaborate with some people who really feel this necessity to talk about this, to have discussion,
Yeah, I think it's. I don't spend a lot of time in Berlin last years, but always when I come, I feel this. Even when we was last, when full invasion started in February and March, we was travel a lot to buy some stuff, and we come once to Germany, also to Berlin, and actually, we met there Dina and Koля from Belarus. They're back with us to Poland, and they made video film of what happened. Like they made video in a car. Sorry, again, flying from what I want to say. Yeah, I just remember when we come to Berlin. It was funny. We parked the car just out from the car, and first what has happened, like some guy, like 60 years old, come to us and, oh, hello guys, you from Ukraine? Because I don't know, we had I think a lot of stuff, like helmets and stuff in our car, and we move it inside. And he said, oh, hello, you're from Ukraine, and this feeling like you said yes, and like, oh, you're sorry about that, oh, I'm very sorry. And I don't know, for me it was always like at that moment like feeling like, oh, I thought everything okay, just all good, yeah, of course, thank you, but this reaction is very different from like, I don't know, like in Poland, for example, there is just like I think because of also it's like first place where people come, you don't feel any, it's like same feeling like in Ukraine maybe, but like in UK, for example, there is also more like give weapon, fuck Russia. I mean, like more like in a level of people just from villages, from farms, and government as well. But in Germany, yeah, you come just and first thing you feel like people very indifferent, and then he's sorry, and then after a few minutes he's like, but your president is idiot. Okay, like, why he don't just give Putin this lens and say we go not NATO, and you think like, oh, and we start explaining him, but it's, yeah. And I also met sometimes people I was in a few workshops in London. It was about political activism, about posters, and it was a lot about Iraq, and of course a lot of people come as well from Berlin there, and actually I've met people from Berlin and young people who very cool, I think nice, but also, yeah, they're feeling lost, and they said we don't really understand, and they're always talking about NATO, NATO said that they will never expand, I don't know, and I don't know what to talk, because it's feeling like people play a big game. These people like kind of, they're still on this, how do you say, in this position of left, but they don't try to understand that everything like moving like clock, I don't know, like, and it's very important to feel that, because when you take something like and stay with this, you just go to red borders, and I mean it's always comparisons. I know at the same time a lot of people who maybe called right people, but they're more like, I mean they're not. I mean it's very. I always say like I like between middle, but all people told me it's not possible, man. It should be left or right. I don't want to be left or right. But and in London there is also the organization very famous called No War. It's also like anti-war coalition, but it's different. It's called Stop War Coalition, and it looks very. It's old organization, and there is a lot cool guys, a lot artists famous, and they did many this like how to say marsze, demonstrations in London, yeah, with a big poster of like stop war in Ukraine, which looks okay for Western public. It looks like, yeah, stop war, but then if you read a bit more and you see what they say, they always say like stop NATO, not give weapon to Ukraine. We need to stop war. And yeah, it was a few times an anti demonstration of this demonstration, and spoke with some people. It's just very easy to, if you don't try to understand what happened, it's easy to believe that. And yeah, I think there is a lot of work actually, because many of these people, it's artists and people who, I don't know, like not artists and like just people who understand. When they see you say, I'm from Ukraine, they ask, you speak with them, they're already different. And yeah.
Yeah. It looks complicated, but I think it's not that much, and but it still needs to be explained to people there, and this is kind of our mission. I think I could say this like that, and also your guy. And it's that's no war slogan is very ambivalent now, and it's the first we need to decolonize. The first we need to finish this fucking situation, and then we can start to talk about that's anti-imperial slogans which are still up to date, because I think it's much more general thing. I don't know, maybe you want to say something at the end, maybe in Ukrainian, maybe in Polish, maybe add something more, but I think I got some inspirations and information from you. Thank you. It was an amazing meeting, accidental one, and but I'm so happy to see you, man.
Yeah, I think it's just important to continue.
Let's go to Kiev also together.
Yeah.
In a way, in symbolic and hybrid.
Yeah.
Building a bridge, because this is what we want to do.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Yeah, to have this together.
Because now the situation is also with the artists who are in Ukraine. It's very complicated because of the if you mail and you have a Ukrainian passport, you can't out from Ukraine if you don't have special documents from Ministry of Culture, for example. But like last half year, it's very tight out. Worse and worse. Yeah, there was a situation when one guy out and said, "Oh yeah, I'm happy I'm out," and after that they closed many things, and then just Yermak is the guy like from President Zelensky. Is only one guy who signed the papers, and now if you don't like Zelensky, actually it's also like not really easy to out. I mean, and just in general, if you want to out, you need to go also now to military office. They need to give you some documents, so it's complicated. Some people just don't want to risk as well, and yeah, I think it's very cool to have some like online and also offline things. And I think it's important to continue just doing something, because I think counter defense, it will start some moment, but yeah, also now it's like emotionally all people around the world, they're waiting for something like show, like TV show, because everyone wants something, and it's also understandable. But I think we need to be like start to like, it's like kind of reality, like everydayness. You do something, and because it can be a long time more, it can be less, but yeah, and also it's very interesting what will be happen after the war, when it's happened. And yeah, I think if you Ukrainian and you say, let's say somewhere not in Ukraine, it's always cool to, if you don't know where to send money and help, there is a lot of different fundraise, help art sector and other people, but it's also cool to put some like taxes you pay, like you can just send to National Bank to support army, because yeah, it's also important.
Thanks a lot. Dzięki. So we didn't switch languages.
небытия. А мы, ты и я, преодолением отыщем стоимость переноса проекции вместо почище чистилища лиц, но не душ. Уж нам-то известно, их не бывает в телесном, их покупает за место под солнцем. Поэтому боги, которым вы молитесь, не принесут вам желаемого. Ох, отравлена земля человеком бытия, забирается поля и слышит ее поля, забирает шабаш петь, чтоб помнили не петь. Я пришла, чтобы петь, человечество болеть. Захворала моя земля, захворала человека бытия, излечить, чтобы тебя, вызывая Бога сна, отравлена. Захворала, захворала землюшка, захворала, роман случилось. Беда, человек зашел в твои объятия, как змея, прибитая на шее. Захворала, захворала. Человек, как здорово, что он смертен, как славно, что конечен его путь земной. Тебе обречен последний бой его на ноль, а дальше мы знаем, что ведьмы, выходите из своих укрытий, ведьмы, очищайте землю от грязи ведьмы, смейтесь, грешите, ведьмы вылазят, ведь мы на землю падаем только после вас, ведь мы переначим саму суть понимания контрастности диапазонов и напишем сказки и историю, где придет во всем другие краски, ведь мы переначим вас, взорвем маски, ведь мы доведем тебя на бах так глубоко, подпорки скваж, что вы сами закончите. В белом плаще с кровавым подбоем, шаркающей кавалерийской походкой ранним утром 14 числа весеннего месяца Нисана, вкрытую колоннаду между двумя крыльями дворца Ирода Великого, вышел прокуратор Иудей Понтий Пилат. Более всего на свете прокуратор розового масла, и все теперь предвещало нехорошее. Так как запах этот начал преследовать прокуратора с рассвета. Прокуратору казалось, что розовый запах источает кипарисы и пальмы в саду, что к запаху кожи и конвоя примешивается проклятая розовая струя. От флигеля в тылу дворца, где расположилась О боги, боги, за что вы наказываете меня?
Europa. Performance by Sofia Suprun and Julia Mazur. Manifesto. Ganged. Gang rape, is the rape of the single victim by two or more violators, typically at least three. Gang rapes are collective acts and are forged on a perverse sense of shared identity, nationality, religion, ethnic group, or race. A group of comrades. Gangs. Gag. In other words, they nip something in the bud. If the gag is pushed down our throats, we forcefully regurgitate. We defy the oppressors, and we hurl their blood-stained gag back at their faces, to call for humanity, to take a stand and help to stop war crimes. It, an abstract entity, a term used to define a taboo subject, event, or expression, widely used in Eastern European, usually post-communist countries, without proper sex education. In order to describe genitals, immoral acts, or hurtful sexual experiences, assaults with an intention not to be overheard by strangers. It was a body on body. It was a body on body. It is a body on body. It was done by body to body. It is done by body to body. It was in Europe. It is in Europe. It will be in Europe. It was a nobody on nobody. It is a nobody on nobody. It was a nobody in nobody. It is a nobody in nobody. It was done by nobody to nobody. It is done by nobody to nobody. It was not in Europe. It is not in Europe. It will not be in Europe. Mirroring two contrasting and socially present narratives, perspectives about mass rape conducted during wartime and its ongoing debate regarding mass rape being, not being a genocidal crime. When? Past. Genocidal rapes that have happened in the past. Journalists and human rights organizations have documented campaigns of genocidal rape during conflicts in former Yugoslavia, Sierra Leone, Rwanda, Liberia, Sudan, Uganda, Ukraine, 2014 and ongoing. During the civil war in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Now, gang rapes, sexual violence continues to this day, as women, men, and children are being repeatedly raped by the Russian troops in Ukraine, the center of today's Europe. If you don't believe, check the map. We do not want it on us. We do not want it in us. We do not want it anymore. We require the form to be naked, nude, raw, undercovered, unprotected, exposed, unjarred, clothless, clothingless, and denuded, exposed, hairy strikes in all one's glory, in a state of nature, in one's birthday suit, in the buff, in the altar jetter, in the nudie, in the nude, in the pink, in the raw, in the scut, Kalgat, mother naked, naked as the day one was born, naked as jaybird, nakers, neki, nakes, naked, naked, nib, nude, scut, scuddy, skyclad, stark, bollock naked, stark naked, starkers, stone naked, unclad, unclothed, undressed, wearing one's birthday suit, without a stitch on, open and pure. We want the pure, naked form of humanity to finally enter the circular void of pain and clearance in it with an anthropocentric self-action situation. We want the ovality of a human group, collective assaults, performances, activity called an oval rape, to become a materialized symbol, metaphor, allegory, ideogram, and emblem of an unjustified dualistic nature, origin of harm. Stop. We are asking about your dystopian identity, personal circumstances of a consciously chosen label. Who are you? An abuser or a victim? What are your pronouns? If you are both, peace, silence is war, violence. 156 exclamation mark. War, violence is peace, silent. 165 exclamation marks. The Ukrainian prosecutor general has confirmed 156 cases of sexual violence against women in cities and towns that were occupied by the Russians. But that is likely the tip of the iceberg when it comes to sexual crimes committed during the war. Manifesto by Julia Mazur.
Hi everyone, my name is Stasia and today I will be speaking with two performance creators, Sofia and Julia. In previous show Ukraina TV, the artists presented our political performance called Europa. They took as part of the Crackers Art Festival. If you have any question for our participants, feel free to write them in the comments. So, hello girls, thank you for coming. I would like to start our conversation, and my first question that personally concerned me. Was there real blood during the performance?
I think we can answer both at the same time. Yes. It was real blood. So we like live. We really cut our backs, and because we were also a performance there, so we cut our backs, and it was real blood that was dripping out of our bodies.
Real blood, naked people. What were you trying to show in this performance?
So maybe you can answer.
Yeah. We were naked in order to show our bodies, like our pure naked bodies, in contrast with a blood that represents violence. So it's just a method, and we were using our corporeality in the contrast of the violence to show how it ridiculous should be in our 21st century nowadays.
Yes, so just to add something to what Sonia said. Yes, so basically we, as you could also hear in the manifesto, we required, for this performance, we required the pure form, the naked form, because we wanted to start in a way from the scratch in a way that enable us to write on like a blank piece of paper, to have all the ink, the red ink, to be visible as much as it could be. Because if we would like wear something, for example, cover the top or like just a little bit, then in our opinion the form is not as clear as it can be. So basically it's not attractive for us. Also, I think it was also the nudity was also a method, or like as a tool. We used it as a tool in order to, kind of show how exposed one's should be or can be when being also a participant in such violent war crimes, and how in a way the body and the blood contrast each other at the same time. And you ask also why we what was like the nude bodies and what?
Why naked people?
Oh yeah, naked people. Yeah, like I think it was also a very interesting thing to show from our perspective, because I think we wanted to show that the tool, like the nudity as a tool, can be used also in a way that really shows all the acts, and even the act is exposed, like the physical action is exposed. There's nothing to hide, in a way that obviously there's some kind of allegories or the second senses of the performances and everything, but at the same time the visible is exposed, like fully exposed. You can't be more exposed. So I think in a physical way, I think this is why we chosen nudity.
Yeah, so like you can perceive a naked human body as Yulia mentioned, as a clear, pure, white piece of paper, and canvas. And an interesting fact about how we created the idea of the performance. We tried to reference to the game back to back. Do you know the rules of the game? When someone draws on your back something, and you need to guess what is it, and recreate this drawing in a piece of paper. So yeah, that's why.
Yeah, and I would just add that maybe also nudity, because I think it's something that, in a way, like how to say it? Like I think the best way to phrase it is something that really shows the contrast between how the act that we try to describe is, in a way, how brutal it is and how dirty it is, and in contrast with something that is really that's something that's really like naked, exposed, as also Gleb read in the manifesto. We used like almost 50 synonyms for naked, so or nudity. So so this is also why we wanted to show this in such contrasting way, I think.
So I have a next question. It was about a cult of this performance. It's Europa. Why this name?
Do you want to start, or?
I think actually Yulia can start, because it was her idea, and I totally agreed.
I think you agreed.
Yeah, I totally agreed. And when Yulia revealed this idea to me, I was really impressed, and we were talking all evening long about the concept of this idea, and like every time we found something new, right? So.
So yeah, so as you mentioned, the name of the performance is Europa in Polish, or EU Plus in English. So I think we had many ideas about how we can, name the performance. But mainly we were trying to find something that is abstract and physical at the same time, which is obviously like it's possible, or is it? I don't know. But yeah, but basically, like we've chosen like this name because we did this performance in Poland, and by some people, Poland can be described as that we're the heart of Europe, or like in terms of location. So as also Sonia said, like there's many senses to it and many explanations, but I think the main part, so the literal part, Europa in Polish, obviously EU is also European Union, and Europa in English is pus, so it's like this liquid, infected liquid that come out of your wound, for example. So we wanted also have this name as such comment to, for example, what's happening now in Europe, and like what's in terms of the full escalation, the war in Ukraine. But at the same time, we wanted to refer to other conflicts that were almost the same brutality were used. And for us, it can be described as pus, as something that is this liquid that is infected and coming out of, in a way, like healthy body, or something that kind of appeared on a healthy body and now is infected, and now because of that, like the liquid coming out. And yes, in a way, like it was also interesting how like this EU, like European Union, kind of came into play, because first idea was just like to cut the word Europa, so Europe, as also the continent, but also as the place that we're doing the performance in, the place where war is now, and also to kind of do like this small like commentary regarding like how interesting it is to experience all these things that are happening right now in Europe, and how in a way how to say it, like Europe is such a weird word at the same time, because people associate with Europe different values, and especially like positive values. Like we have in Poland, or like in Eastern Europe, we have this division, right? Like there's Western Europe and there's Eastern Europe. And if you go to the Western Europe, or something like countries of Western Europe, you realize that people have, just I think, obviously it's improving, I hope so, but the thing is that they do not really have the essence, or get the essence of Eastern Europe. And the thing that we have this division, obviously because of the political reasons, and we know why, but the thing is that even now for us, as young Europeans, we can say, this division is really visible, and you can really feel that. So basically, I think the polemic that we wanted to have in the name is also referring to how different lies as well, and how many different and usually wrong stereotypes or wrong values are associated with Europe nowadays, or even like was before, because we have something as people would say, oh, it's European, so it's like better, or like, I don't know, there's like European values, but what it really means, like, like there's so many options, but at the same time there's no options. Like it's so contrasting, and it's so abstract, and so physical, and I think there's all those qualities are every quality that we wanted to have in this performance. And regarding the name, we also wanted to have something at first really abstract, that only after really kind of deep discussion it will be revealed. But why to do it like so abstract when we can have this word that literally like means nothing and everything at the same time. Like the meaning behind that is like it can be infinite, because as I said, we can say like, oh yeah, like we named this performance because we did it in Europe, but at the same time, you know, in English, like it's called EU PUS, so it's basically it's referred to EU and this infected liquid. So so yeah, I don't know, Sophia, you want to add something?
Yeah, as you mentioned, we have a lot of ideas how we can name this performance. Too many ideas, yes. And also the one great idea was to name. Can we do it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it would be a name for a different performance.
Yeah, but this wording you mentioned in your manifesto, yeah, it was oral rape.
Oh yeah.
This idea was also really interesting. Yeah.
This is the name of our action performance.
Yes, but yeah, I think that Europa, EU PUS, like contains really plenty of senses, plenty of meanings and like descriptions, yeah,
and
stereotypes, yeah. So actually, we can talk about it all day long, right?
Yes, but I think, can I just say? I think the main the reason behind Europa, so EU PUS, is also how it sounds, because for us it's also interesting, and it's really important how the word sounds and what kind of emotions it evokes in most people, because obviously it's not possible like to count all of it and to include all of them. But I think it really refers to our experiences in Europe, like our experience also of being from Eastern Europe, or like having experiences as Eastern European in Western Europe, and having maybe some bad experiences where we kind of have also the taste of bad Europe, or like this. I would say that those values that we, for example, do not share with other Europeans or something. Obviously, it's yeah, obvious, but the thing is that I think what's really interesting is that this like word play in Polish, which is like you're not aware of it as you know, as long as you're not gonna kind of cut the word, because we see like the name Europa or like even like the tattoo shop is called Europa, I think, yeah, on the street near.
I want to add that if you will receive the English name of our performance like too many times, EU PUS, yes. Like what do you hear?
What do you hear, Stasia?
Good question. I'm not ready to answer, but for me, it's like if a very long time to repeat. I'm listening only to last three.
Yeah, like the letters.
Yeah, the last three letters, and if you will be repeat, you just at the same time you finish to hear this. You know.
Yes, because what I think what you meant is, are we thinking about the same thing? I think yeah. Oedipus, right? Right? Yeah. I was just wanted to confirm, because the thing is that. Yeah, like if you say like EU PUS, I mentioned that to Sonia when I was like pitching my idea of the name of the performance. I said that it's really interesting how, in a way, like those senses create itself when you're working on a performance. And I said, like, I think once I said to you, like, you know, we don't have to have everything like planned or something when we're doing performance, because some of the things will just appear and we have to accept it, and okay, like this is how the performance will like finish, like start and have the middle. So I think yeah, like it's really interesting how in this you know, like word play or like just letters plays, it has many senses, and it reveals like Oedipus, which we all know what it is, and it's really interesting how it creates itself in a way, and how it also refers to some of the cons of some of the behaviors that you can also meet in Europe or something like that.
So it's the same time it's a politician performance. In the same time it's a sociality performance, and at the same time it's a linguistic performance. It's everything. So I don't have a question in my lists about manifesto, but now I think it's a good point to ask you: what was born the first, manifest or performance?
That's really interesting. I think like this question even goes like beyond our performance, because I think this is a very interesting point, and it's really dangerous at the same time, because I feel like I can talk about it like too long. But the thing is that I would say that I don't even think that. Yeah, no, because I'm not even thinking. Yeah, because the manifesto was after the like before the performance. Manifesto was finished before the performance. Yeah, but it was created throughout all the meetings, all the preparations, all the online shoppings on medical sites. Yes, and to be honest, I don't think is there any. This is like, I think, like another question like that was born after your question. Is this even relevant when you're talking about performance? Because I think there's this sense in manifestos being made after the performance, but also, the manifesto can be defined as the statement or like this description of performance. Or the values before the performance, obviously, because you're just like, okay, you have to have like this base or like this theoretical base, as we also had before you're gonna do a physical action. But actually, is it like I think everything in terms of what should be first, or like what should you have a manifesto first, or should you have a theoretical base, like, or it can be both, or like in our case, manifesto, I think, was created really organically. It was just because, as we can say, like Sonia made the theoretical base, the theoretical statement, and I've written the manifesto. And yeah, this is like like another example of how interestingly and how good it linked, like at the end, because I think manifesto cannot. Exist without theoretical base, and theoretical base cannot exist without manifesto. Because I feel like for me, manifesto is like a scream, and theoretical base is just like silence. But at the same time, it's something that cannot exist without the other part. And in terms of performance, I think it's really interesting how manifesto works for me. Maybe that's why I've written manifesto and Sonia theoretical part. But I think for both of us, those things are like inevitable when you're doing performance, and also in terms of which should be first. I don't think is there any like relevance to it, to be honest, because it depends on your process.
So yeah, I think that you should consider it like a part of this performance. In other words, this manifesto is a performance. It's our performance, but it's written using the words. And when we are doing this action, we were using our bodies. So like it's different methods to show the same things. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like. Yes, as you said, I think it's really interesting what you said about manifesto being, because I think we talked about it, but I forgot. Yeah, yeah, like no, but I mean like now.
We having a collective
memory or mind. Yeah, we have literally one brain. But the thing is that I think manifesto, as you said, is a performance itself. I mean, like, when Gleb read it now, I said to Sonia before, like, it would be like super interesting to hear somebody read it as they kind of process it, or like as they interpret it, like we did our symbols in our performances, in our performance. So yeah, it's all of the components for this performance. We thought when we were creating it or something like that, or making it or like writing it, we, I think, applied the same method as we did when we were thinking about performance. So all these kind of small actions are also like those small performances, which you can say that, yeah, like reading manifesto can be performed, obviously, like it should be performed, like, as I said, it's a scream. But at the same time, it can be intuitional. So yeah, this is like this question about kind of what performative action is literally kind of a part of the performance itself, you know?
Yeah, and I wanted to add that every time when this manifesto is read by something, the performance, sorry, is going on and going on and going on.
Yeah, I think this was also our idea, right? Yeah, I think it was also our idea to not to have the exact finishing of the performance, because we actually had this discussion, I think, a couple of days ago regarding when the performance should be finished, like, or like how it can be finished, or should it be finished, like, in a way, how time applies to performance, or the performance that we did, because it's a creation, like we decide about it, like, and we were discussing this decision, actually. We were discussing, you know, what action, or if in any case it should be finished, because we think we have like this really, I would say, really interesting position in it, that we do not want to finish this performance with any exact physical action, I think. And we just want to have it as the open performance, where we kind of build up more senses and more actions to it. And we do not want to finish that. Like, we do not want to have like this conventional finishing, and to have, you know, the actions kind of closing, and then like, okay, so we can move on. Like, we want to be able to move on like ever from it, I think, as, you know, fucking war or something.
It's a good point to start to speak about the war during this performance, because it's the first time it's a politician performance. So maybe you can to describe this part.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'll just say one sentence, okay? I think we wanted to have, like, this performance, we wanted to be as broad as possible, in a way that we're talking, obviously, the main thing is that we're talking about gang rape being acknowledged as a genocide within war crimes. And we, as also in our work, it described that it's not only a description of something that is happening now. It's also, you know, like a story about the past and how it evolves. So yeah.
Yeah, the initial idea of the performance like appeared obviously like at the beginning of war. Like not into full escalation. I mean, so obviously it came to me like, and then I contacted Julia, and we were trying to we were contacted by Roman, and so. Okay, the initial idea. Yeah, let's start from this. Yeah, as I am Ukrainian and I am from the eastern part of Ukraine, from Severodonetsk. This is my hometown that is totally destroyed now, and it's it like I was really. All my life, like all my consciousness life, I was really admiring of doing and dreaming of doing performers. But when the full escalation started, the idea of this exact performance came to me with this new. Like the initial idea, because it's also important to mention, because it looked like how to say it. So we created a new layer, so it's a different like ideas, if I can say it like this. So yeah, so this idea came to me with this new like news, with the photo of with the picture, a photo of a dead woman who was raped previously, and on her what? Yeah, Ukrainian girl, yeah. And it was a burnt swastik on her back. And I was feeling that, I felt that I need to speak about it. And the good way to speak about it is to create a performance on this topic. And then we were talking with Julia, and we were trying to create a new concepts. And then this initial idea turned to like the initial idea about which refers to the war in Ukraine. This turned to genocide as a phenomenon that exists in every war, in every war in Europe, and not only in Europe. So.
Yeah, so I think when you were asking about this, yeah, like political aspect of it, I think, yeah, we basically, I think, yeah, described that. But as I said, and as Sonia mentioned, this political, I mean, it is a political performance. You can't escape that. And why would you escape that? But the thing...
In some cases, it is also anti-political performance.
Yeah, so, yeah, maybe you can, like, because I'm interested in, like, how you would describe that, like, how...
Yeah, so it's pretty clear, I think, because I mentioned that it also can be represent like anti-political performance if we due to like in terms, okay, it would be better in terms of Russian politics and all the politics that includes such method as gun rapes and violence during the war.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think we pretty much described that. But yeah, so like the political sense is also referring to, as we both I think said, gang rape that should be acknowledged as genocide everywhere, and yeah, that's I think the political kind of area of it.
Thank you for this answer. So now I want to return to performance here in Krakow, and you together with other participants were part of the performance. So what did you feel at the moment when another person was cut in your body, and what these symbols represent?
Maybe you want to answer first.
Actually, it is a really good question, interesting question, and but first of all, I would like you to tell you about like other performers. Yeah, this is people who are really really interested in participating, as they were like really they had a really enthusiastic attitude. Yeah, and we gave an opportunity to recreate a symbol of swastika and Z, because it was a symbol that we used in our initial idea, right? To like equalize. Can I say that like that? To equalize them. So the performers had an opportunity to recreate and reinterpret these symbols, and every symbol is based on their like personal experience, which is somehow connected with violence and somehow associated in their minds with violence. Unfortunately, they're not with us right now, like here, but I think that we can reveal some ideas of these symbols.
No, yeah. So yeah, I think you said it really good. How basically this idea was also made. But yeah. So what was the question again? Sorry, I was like.
What do you feel when?
Oh yeah, when somebody was cutting. Yeah. I'm like.
My first question next: what this symbol represents?
Okay, I think the discussion about like what the symbol represents, those people have to be here because we can speak for them, but we can say, for example, about ours reinterpretations. But yeah, so basically, how it felt. I mean, how it really feels. I mean, describe a feeling, it's an interesting thing.
The different experience.
Yes, we definitely had different experiences, both good, if you can say that. But for me, you can discuss regarding the physical action, so how it felt. Obviously, it was uncomfortable. It was something that at some point I wanted to stop. And it was something that hurt. And I think regarding the abstract kind of, or like the metaphorical sense, for me it felt like it's interesting because at the same time it felt really foreign. Like it felt obviously something that it's not really kind of common at the same time, and it's something that I don't want to feel, but at the same time I want to feel that, because this is like this tiny part that I can be fully in the moment of thinking about one thing that is happening to me, for example, and what it represents, and also kind of why we're doing this. I think this was the moment for, I believe both, like everyone, like also both of us, to really be in the moment and just feel, the exact sense and the exact purpose of this performance, and to just maybe reflect and to really feel. Just maybe like a tiny bit of how it might feel, or just I think, because obviously it's impossible and it will be just a lie if you would say, oh yeah, this is how it feels. But the thing is that I think that at least for me, when because my wounds because I have two, and they're like healing good and everything. So do not worry, everyone. Everyone's are in good health for the performance. But in terms of my wounds, they're quite deep. So if you're asking about this physical aspect, yeah, like I was really feeling the cutting, and like I was really feeling, yeah, I think the amount of pain that is also visible now. But yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to like physical aspect, my wound was really have been done really delicate, but it was really big on the the whole my back. Yeah, and actually, I need to say I don't want to hide that I was. How to say it? Sorry, I forgot this word. I was yeah, I was thinking. Okay, I was thinking about how can I do something really hurtful to another person. I was not thinking about my back actually, so it was pretty controversial feeling, because I was I was feeling that something is going on and it doesn't feel good, but at the same time, all my thoughts were how to say it? All my thoughts were about this person who are standing in front of me, and I am doing like the act of violence towards him. And because my partner was a boy, yeah, so it was this feeling was really unpleasant and bad. So yeah.
I just want to say that obviously our performance was planned. So I think this feeling that was also at least felt by me, it was that it's very interesting because it's as Sonia said, it can be acknowledged as an act of violence or something that it's like a violent action, right? Like, so cutting, okay, it can be described as a violent action towards your body or towards somebody else's body. But at the same time, what about planned violence? Like, there's this discussion regarding, does the rapist or the abuser plan their action, or is it something that, I don't know, just wakes up in him or her and then they act? I think those questions are also really interesting, because those questions are being born on the questions, for example, that you ask us today and everything. And as we also said before, we want to have this project as unfinished as possible, and in the sense that we can add more and more things to it later on, also. So I think that, as Sonia said, the feeling was, like controversial, or was something that. Actually, like, your perspective is really interesting for me. Like, now I'm thinking about it, because, we also have those questions that we're going to ask our performers, after the exact time that we scheduled, because we want to have different answers. But the thing is that we haven't talked about it, like with Sonia before, about our experiences and what we felt, for example. But I think, the things that you were thinking about the other person is, I think, really interesting, and it creates like another dimension to it, because even though, as we're saying in manifesto, or like the theoretical base, that our role in this performance as performers are interesting in a way and fascinating for me, because we're the abuser and the victim at the same time. Our back is being cut, but also we're cutting somebody's back, ideally at the same time. So I was not able to feel the same emotions as Sofia said, because my back was cut after my action. So this is just how the person that cut my back decided to do it like that. But so I could be kind of fully in the action of my back being cut, and I think this was the only thing that I was also thinking about in terms of any physicality. So yeah, but I think those perspectives, and each of our perspectives, just also reveals some yeah, like something that is called in manifesto, for example, pronouns. Because we wanted to add this another dimension in it, that, so how do you identify? Like, this is a question that can be asked in today's Europe, like, really frequently. And this question about identity and this need for being identified, like, you identify, for example, victims, right? Like, you identify bodies, you identify your pronouns, for example, or like you identify yourself as something. Like, we need those kind of labels, and we need to name things. This is the thing that, oh, so why we bury people, or like why, you know, why? Like, do anyone know the answer? But the thing is that, yeah, like, the main reason also for us that we did this performance is to have this question made, like to like enter this performance with certain set of questions, and then after the performance, by, for example, people like you, or like by us, or the discussion that we create with our performers, like after the action, to have those extra layers of questions, and to not have answers, like to not finish those questions, or like those kind of abstract ideas that are being created, because we can stop that. We can stop asking the questions, but we can decide to make an answer. Like, so I think, yeah, this is also a part of this performance that I think we're really enjoying so far, because there's so many interesting bases, and there's so many interesting, yeah, as I said, like statements, questions, feelings that entered this discussion. Yes, Sofia said that we can write a book. I mean, yeah, we're gonna see, and I think if so, it's not gonna be planned.
So it's like intuitional performance, yeah? More.
I think it's a part of it, yes.
Okay.
But I don't think I would call it an intuitional performance, because
I think it appears in all the aspects, like.
Yeah, but I don't think I would just label it as, you know.
No, but it's just a part. Yeah, it's in it, but it's just a part. Yeah, and actually we had to discuss our symbols. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
The meaning of our symbols. Yeah, so the symbol I was cutting on my partner's back was the part with like inner part of peace symbol, right? Without this circle. And we decided to cut it together with my partner, actually, and it like there is also a lot of senses regarding this symbol, but I think the main one, it's unfinished peace symbol, which means, like, you know, this phrase, like, make love, not war, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work when your country is in war and have to fight, and you cannot be like pacifist. Yeah, you just cannot. You cannot allow yourself to be a pacifist. So yeah, that's why this symbol is unfinished. Yeah, and also what should I?
Maybe what symbol you reinterpreted, like swastika or is that?
Okay, yeah. So I think that this was an interpretation of. I need to think actually, because I think it refers to the both symbols in some ways. So, but I need to really think about it. But I think the main symbol that to which refers my reinterpretation refers to is a symbol of Russianism, Z. Yeah, like a controversial, not answer, but it's a really interesting, actually, question. I thought about both of these symbols, yeah, yeah, and regime and Russia with the Russianism creates a regime that making that killing us Ukrainians, right? And this symbol isn't finished because it doesn't create in us the feeling to just to be pacifists and do not react on this aggression.
Maybe you can also say about your symbol.
Yeah, and I have this symbol on my back, like the really big V, yeah. V for victory, but no. Yeah, as you know, that the main symbol of Russianism is Z, but actually they also have the circle, one of those their symbols, and V. And I thought that it could zostawić. No, nie w tym sensie. It still refers to the Russianism and Russian regime, but it's not that recognizable. So I wanted to have on my back the exact symbol of the regime, but I didn't want to use this. The symbol that not because this symbol is really recognizable now during this war in Ukraine, but just because I wanted to leave a place to our viewers of the performance also reinterpret in their minds the symbol.
Yes, because I think it's really interesting with your symbol that V is also, I think, the main symbol of victory, right? People associate it with victory. And when I saw even you have this, you do this with your fingers and it can mean a lot of things. But yeah, for me, for example, when I saw it, I was because I didn't know that it's also a symbol. Another symbol for Z or something, and I thought oh, it's a victory or something. This is a polemics with victory and who's going to win, and is there even a area for discussion about victory? Because I think there's only losers within the, not losers, but how we say people that lose within those actions.
That's why I was joking, like at the beginning of my answer, just because I understand that many people can receive this symbol in this sense.
Yeah, and this is really interesting. So regarding my symbol, so I was cutting on my partner, Sophia. I cut a circle in the middle of her back, because this is also what we discussed before. Like every performer discussed what they're going to cut on each other before the performance, on our rehearsal, and we were also sharing the reinterpretation based on our, as Sophia said, background and personal experiences. And how we reinterpreted those two regimes, or just even one regime, or even for example, the main core values of any regime, actually, that creates and do war crimes. So I cut circle on Sophia because for me this is a symbol of symbols. Like circle for me, even the really big circle, I think it's even stronger, that it's a circle action. We were also standing in a circle, and it's something that you can see a start and you can see the finish. So this is just like a symbol that, you know, you can start in, for example, at the top, but you can also start at the bottom, and you won't be able to see that. So the same thing happens, for example, to the culture, or the symbols being appropriated, or just symbols being forgotten. I mean, like visual like archetypes, or just lines, which most symbols are, and how those being, for example, those archetypes or those lines associated with different people and different actions are being forgotten, and then somebody like just dig them out, and they take them. They say, oh, this is now our symbol of something, and then we kind of judge the symbols by the actions of those people that appropriated to them, to their plans or whatever they want to do with that. So for me, the circle also visually is really attractive, and is something that kind of says more than I think I can say, because for me it's something that really represents the circle action, and the how, in a way, how everything just starts and then like goes like to some point, and then it's like forgotten, then somebody like take it out again, and then it's visible, and then again it's forgotten. It depends like only on human factor, and I think and I think those lines dependency on human factors and on in a way on humanity is really interesting. So that's why I chose this one. So yeah.
Just one sentence, sorry, that also swastika, and that also were reinterpreted by those regimes here. So,
fun fact. Do you receive any feedback from the audience after the performance? What type of the reaction it was?
Actually, I was really surprised, because I received a lot of really good feedbacks from people. I know that they were like viewers who were not able to stay till the end. Just because it was really hard to watch for like sensitive people, but actually the fun fact that those people who were not able to stay till the end, they were texted me after, and they were like, "Oh, sorry that I felt really bad because I cannot see when someone's blood or when people are cutting each other, but it was really strong, and they were like really thankful for this experience." Yeah.
So I would say that we quite fresh after the performance because it was last week, right? Last Friday. So the feedback that I got, I think the essence of it was that it was a visually strong performance. I think mainly because of the blood and the amount of blood, and also the fact that how to say, like, the blood was fresh. So kind of you can see the body without the blood, and then you can see the exact harm and the exact moment that it happened, and then the outcome of it at the same time. So I think I don't know any person that just walk out, but yeah, I know that there were some people, and I think their perspective is also really interesting because it gives us.
And we expected for this reaction.
Yes, I mean, obviously, because some people pass out when they see blood or something like that, and we're not those people. And I think that's interesting. I think that's also what something to pinpoint and to discuss further, and maybe not today because we don't have time for it.
For me, it's hard to see those.
Really?
Yeah.
But in what way hard?
I see this action, and I have these goosebumps, yeah. And it's not that easy, to watch.
But you mean only because of the physical harm, or you mean because you know the background of the performance?
No, first of all, because of the physical aspect.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I can't stop saying that, but that's true. That's true because I don't feel that, and maybe it's regarding the personal level of kind of being, as you said, sensitive to people's harm, or to just to just kind of, I don't know, some personal things. But your perspective, for me, somebody that is not feeling that when I'm watching our performance, or because to be honest, those performances are really interesting for me and really fascinating when you can see the exact outcome, or you can see the body as a self-sufficient form of action, or situation, or as performance can be called, situation. And I think there's those perspectives, and the fact that we were all in one circle and we kind of closed the action, but at the same time we started the action because somebody had to start, had to be, obviously, if we would shoot the performance in milliseconds or something, we would see that, I don't know, maybe Sonia started for catching somebody first or somebody else. And I think we can see I think it was Philemon, right? And yeah, I mean, it's fascinating, those also small details of the performance, and I think this performance was also made to discuss and to talk through things, and maybe this is also a medium for some people to actually express their thoughts on the situation now in Ukraine, or the full escalation, or just different things, maybe just body aspects, or as I said, the body, treating body as a self-sufficient form in performance, or in creation, at all. Because this is when you can kind of have something out of your body and kind of yeah, just play around with that and then create the performance around it. I think this is the essence of just using the body as a tool, or just perceiving body as a tool that can give you the outcomes that you cannot how is the przewidzieć? Predict. You cannot predict. And this is also why we used bodies, and like why we used nudity, because if you have more unpredictable factors, then at least, I don't know, for me it's more interesting, and there's more purpose in it to do it. So yeah.
Actually, Roman told that our time is
Okay.
running out.
Yeah, unfortunately, it will be my last question. Do you plan to show this performance anywhere else?
We can do the same like at the beginning.
Oh yeah. Yes. What? I mean, yeah.
I mean, yeah. We will. Like I was. I.
Oh, you meant like now or something? Oh, you mean
no,
like
recreation of this performance? No, definitely no. It was like one-time action.
Yes.
Yeah, but we have a lot of documentations regarding this performance, and I hope you will see it in some galleries. Yeah. So.
Yes, because we plan to, because now we are finishing our documentation, and like we want to have this in one file, and we want to have the video, the photos, but also all the documents, so the theoretical base and also the manifesto in one file. And yes, we already contacted some people, some galleries that would be able to provide us the space to exhibit our also objects from the performance, but like as the cloth or with some blood stains on it, or that could or other elements that were used, because this is also what we wanted to show in a way, that how it is to perceive a performance through objects, not through just experiencing it as the viewer, like live. So we obviously I think we just understood the question differently, because regarding the recreation, yes, obviously, yes, this is
Good answer. It's perfect answer. So.
yes, no, this is 50-50. Yeah.
Last question, it's a perfect answer.
Yes. So about recreation, no, we did it once, and we want to just exhibit the results, and also for our archives, because archiving is really important, and this is also the purpose of ours. But regarding the exhibition, yes, we want to participate in such actions.
So thank you very much for this conversation and for this time. I'm spent perfect time together with you. So now Sofia will read the theoretical statement. So let's go listening.
Okay. Theoretical statement for Europa, EUPUS. Genocide of Ukrainian people committed by a terrorist state. This wording gained widespread recognition and became inextricably linked to Russia during the full-scale invasion, consolidating an indiscriminate responsibility for war crimes. Barbarian permissiveness, which feels out of date and out of place, an attitude of the horde from bygone times, is the basis of the Russian policy throughout all military conflicts. Russians experience the so-called déjà vu from the threat of the Great Terror. The primary feature of the communication is distrust, reinforced by propaganda attitudes from well over half of its population. Therefore, psychological pressure tools generate wartime violence, violating international war law. Consequently, we must keep raising the issue of Russia's membership in the UN General Assembly. The first imposition of the Russian peace should be considered as illustration of two layers of the phenomenon, imperialistic whim and absurd interpretation of its naming. However, it is unacceptable to separate responsibility from the Russian civilians and the criminal authority of the state, as well as the Russian elite that is representative of banditry. If we will turn to the heavily provided newspeak in Russia, special military operation is waged in order to denazificate Ukraine, which is just a hypocritical usage of the terminology in the matter of political and war methods character. The propaganda machine tries to insistently force the idea by referencing the Second World War history, purposely losing disadvantaged facts. Obviously, Russia does not change its traditions by committing gun rapes, which have been recently acted under the symbol of the existing regime, Russism, Z. Wartime violence is inherent in every war, so it has taken the form of a strategic weapon that can be easily implemented due to many motivating factors described by psychology and the sociocultural phenomenon of violence. We want to bring up the topics related to military conflicts in Europe and beyond and show that atrocity cannot be excused or justified under any circumstances. If we want to remain in accordance with the principles of humanism, we must do what we want to make it disappear from the horizon of modern life. Even though various forms of violence and torture are a crime against humanity, this strategy is not disdained by representatives of the highest ranks in the matter of calling the shots, as well as rapists and murderers explicitly. This method of warfare is conducted to demoralize the civilians, annihilate the population, and forcibly resettle and split up families. When it comes to armed troops, it is essential to realize that their abuse of power must be treated not only as a weapon of mass destruction, but in terms of personal harm, a breach of the inviolability of the individuals and humiliation of human dignity, based on humanitarian rights doctrine, which must ensure the freedom from the torture in both physical and psychological aspects. The question of a court martial arise not only in relation to representatives of the political machinery. We exploit corporeality in a social, cultural and political context without hesitating to make sacrifices ourselves and resort to brutal methods. We create an agreeable cruelty as a recreation of forced cruelty that enables us to reach the ideas of humanism through the transcendental process of experience. Each participant has the opportunity to reinterpret symbols such as swastika and the Russian Z, which are associated with encroachment of people's lives, invasion and abuse, to stir up debate of symbols' origin and what influences their recognition. For instance, a symbol that may be just a letter itself can be used to mark particular ideology and consequently establish the regime. The united organism created by our bodies represents the circle, allowing this experience to reveal and come back. It helps participants to try filling the both roles of victim and abuser at the same time. Nevertheless, the abuser will never put himself in the victim's boots. Moreover, the vicious circle illustrates a history stream that will help us to remember the casualties forever.
шановні друзі, ви слухаєте фрагмент лайв-акту Миколи Лебедя, який він запрезентував на одному з наших івентів у рамках Crackers Art Week. Це дуже цікавий і приємний, і глибокий вайб, хвиля, емоція, почуття. Як казав Микола, я даю вам хвилю, а ви плиньте нею куди захочете. Одна з подій, яка відбудеться в неділю, дуже важлива для нашого ком'юніті. Це зліт, зграї, про які трохи більше розповість вам Юлія.
Розповість і запросить у цю неділю о 17:00 відбудеться зліт артистів уже другий раз. І він буде трішки видозмінений. Ми побачимо трохи фільмів, послухаємо трохи музики і також разом створимо щось своє. Зграя – це івент для всіх, для творців, для людей, які не творять. Всі, хто би хотів, ті й приходять. І на зграї ми стараємось разом зробити атмосферу спільного, не знаю, як сказати, спільної креації, просто спільного створення чогось і відчуття, що кожен там потрібен. Тому запрошую вас в неділю в ніч кав'ярню «Księgarnia» на Славковську, 28, о 17:00. І тут ми можемо побачити людей, які причетні до зграї і які покажуть своє мистецтво. Тут ми бачимо, власне, кого?
Знову рота, відкриває, щось кричить там. Ну, залітайте. Напевно, буде дуже приємний візуальчик. Якщо все добре вийде, то навіть інтерактивний. Тому що треба вірити в цифри, але не забувайте ніколи теж про свою душу. А також, насправді, дуже багато цікавих людей буде і різноманітних, і початківців, і вже митців, які мають певний досвід і бекграунд. Як, до речі, бекграунд українською? Опа! Земля, так. Запліччя. Так. Щось, що за тобою. І перед чим ти. Ще відносно зграї.
Ну, можу сказати, що провідною ідеєю є те, щоб створювати щось разом. І не боятися створювати разом. Тому створений був також відкритий мікрофон. Якщо ви хочете, ви можете прийти і показати, що ви написали, чи, можливо, щось ви зробили. Це також можливо. Головне не боятись, тому що осуду там немає і не буде. Це, можна сказати, чи правило, чи просто якась така умова. Так. Так, як Глеб сказав, будуть початківці, будуть люди, які, як сказати, дуже молоді особи, які дуже тягнуться до мистецтва. І вони представлять, власне, свої перші творіння. Так, як ми тут бачимо, не знаю, як показати з іншої сторони, ось там, отуди. Буде Ростислав Варко, який від 11 років робить фото. Не знаю, описувати.
Туди вгору.
Туди. Чорнобіль. Те, що чорнобіль, як не знаю.
Окей, там в куті.
Так, в куті.
Садили в куточок.
Так, і я вражена від його робіт, насправді, і від його робіт в 11 років, тому що він виражає дуже багато емоцій.
Добре, я вже пригадав, ти розповідала, після минулої зграї, що є якийсь там чувак, якому 11 років, що він написав тобі, що дякую за інспірейшн.
Я вважаю, що це дуже важливо давати можливість дітям, молодим особам, молоді розвиватися в такому плані. Навіть коли вони мають бажання, показувати це, чому ні. Ось. Але буде дуже-дуже багато цікавого насправді. І якщо ви будете мати час і мати бажання провести цей час добре, то запрошуємо вас, я думаю.
А ви маєте той час. Звільніть і прийдіть. Тож, хочу усім подякувати, хто був сьогодні на нашому передостанньому ефірі цього сезону. Ще бачимось в наступному тижні з дуже цікавими історіями. Насправді, ще не все відомо відносно майбутнього нашого найближчого. Тож, дякую всім, хто був з нами. Маю надію, що там ще послухаєте трохи Миколи Лебедя і поплинете разом з ним цією хвилею емоцій, добрих, сумних. Залишайтесь з нами. Цілую, обіймаю. А що ж, людина?